Hey everybody, it's Mike with Tough Fight. We're back for episode 11, Don't Be a Squanderer. So let's ask the question, are you one of those people who gets $100 and says, what am I going to do with this? What should I spend this on? Or are you one of those people who gets an extra $100 and says, oh, I already know what I'm getting? Well, let's get the dictionary definition of squander. It is to waste something valuable such as money, time, or opportunities in a reckless, foolish, or thoughtless manner. In other words, when you get money, what do you do with it? Do you just immediately spend it because you need to feel better about yourself, that you've done something, that you've accomplished something, or fulfilled that want? What about your needs? Did your needs come first, right? So that's where the reckless and foolishness comes in that definition. So the question we need to ask ourselves today is this: am I a squanderer? And we need to tell ourselves, if we are, that we don't want to be. We should not be squanderers. I can't tell you how many people that I've known throughout my life that everything they get, every dollar they make, they spend it. It's gone. They don't even think about it. It's what's the next thing that they need to buy. And look, I'm going to be honest with you guys. I've been that guy. I have been that guy for probably the majority of my life. I didn't figure it out until later in life. And I don't want to say I didn't figure it out until it was too late, because that's not true. But it just was so late that it was very inconvenient for me to actually change in a positive direction where I didn't waste everything that was given to me. And even today, I still squander some. When I work on automobiles, when I work on trucks or cars, I use gloves because I hate getting my hands dirty. I'm just being honest. I don't like the mechanic soap with the sand in it. It's not my thing. And I don't like crud under my nails and all that. I just like to just put the gloves on, wash the sweat off when I'm done, and be done with it. But I go through gloves like I didn't pay for them. And kind of the same thing with paper towels. I will use paper towels to just wipe stuff down or whatever, and I don't buy the cheap ones. I buy the blue shop towels, so they're expensive. And I know a lot of people who think that's very wasteful, and you know what? It is. So I'm here to tell you that I can relate. I myself squander. The difference is I have learned not to squander things that are valuable. And I would say that there's value to everything, right? But we know that there's degrees of value. So if I can afford to waste paper towels and gloves, then that's what I'm going to do. But when you're walking around and you're saying, why do I live on the street? Or why do I live in my mom's basement? Or why do I always have to live with friends? Why do I have to always have roommates? Well, chances are it's because you squander. It's probably because you spend every dollar you make. You ever meet these people out there and they can't have money. They can't have it. It's unacceptable. They have to have stuff instead. So think about this for a second. People claim that their value is in what they have, right? But the second you buy something, it's usually worth half to 3/4 once you open the box of what you paid for it. I mean, that's not value. That's not value at all. That's actually depreciation. So why is that important to understand? It's important to understand because when you turn 50, 60, 70 years old and you look around you and say, geez, I don't have anything. All I have is this stuff. I don't have any money to pay my rent. Well, that's why you don't have money to pay your rent. It's because you spent it all. So, if you ever work with wealthy people, one thing you're going to find is they don't really want to pay you for much of anything, or they want to pay you like a small amount. And they're always trying to find ways like, how can I get, if you're like in contracting, how can I get them to do this without paying for it? I mean, I see that all the time. So here's the thing. They didn't get to where they're at in life by spending every dollar they have. They got to where they're at in life by not spending their money. But now you ask the question, but if I see that they have the big house and the cars and all that stuff, well, how did they do all that? Well, they invested in something, and it was probably themselves. They probably took their money and they said, well, I'm going to start a business, or I'm going to do really good at my job, and I'm just going to store my money until the time is right. And that's how they do it. That's it. It's not like this gigantic secret. Now, some of them do, some wealthy people do put their money into investments and other things that net them a large return. Some of them have larger sums of money to invest to make that larger return. And if you're watching this video, chances are you're not that guy. And as long as you're not that guy, then every dollar you make counts. Every dollar somebody gives you for free counts. You know what I mean? I'm the king of if for some reason I get my hands on, $20, right? That's free money to me. Now, I'm used to moving, over $1 million a year through my company. So $20 to me really isn't, a big deal. But see, that's a squandering attitude. What I should do with that money is probably give it to somebody who would make their life a better, place to be. Or I could save that money. There's all kinds of things I could do with that $20 that it was given to me for free. But I choose to spend it on something frivolous. So here's the thing. If you have a few $1,000s moving through your life every year, like $10 to $30, $40, $50,000 a year, $20 has a little bit more value. And I understand that it's not your life savings. I understand it's not your retirement plan. It's $20. I get it. It costs what? $10 to $15, maybe even $20 to eat at a lot of fast food places these days. Well, guess what? That $20, that's a meal. So if you go spend it on weed or alcohol or whatever, what did you get out of it, right? Nothing really. Maybe a good time, but how long did that last? And where did it actually propel you to? It propelled you to nowhere. Nowhere. The same place you were at yesterday. The difference is you kind of forgot about it because you had such a great time doing it. Well, here's the thing. We don't want to be squanderers, right? So if you are given something, your job is to take care of it. And guess what? When you are given something and you are responsible with it, you will be given more. 100%. You will absolutely be given more. Those who can't be trusted with a little will never be trusted with a lot. We have to remember this. It's true. I've seen it in my own life and in others around me. So, how do we stop squandering? Well, that's the tricky part. We live in a culture and a society that teaches us to spend our money. I mean, it's everywhere. Marketing is like the devil in this culture. And so, and you see all these things all around you that are designed to make you open your wallet and spend your money. It's by design. So, we want to open our eyes to our lives, right? What we really want to do is we want to say, my focus is on getting my first apartment or an apartment period, or getting a place to live, putting a roof over my head. That's our main focus, right? Well, here's the problem. If we're looking down this hole at our focus, right? We're looking through the scope and there's our target. Well, here's the problem. Most people, they're not looking through the scope. They're just looking straight ahead. And guess what? Your eyes can see around you without focusing on them. Your peripheral sees things all over the place. So what happens is your attention constantly becomes drawn to these other things that are around you that don't matter. And again, I'm telling you right now, I'm not trying to be this isn't a conspiracy. Bottom line is this. It is by design. I hate to say this because I don't want to sound like paranoid here, but they want you to spend all of your money on them. So think about this for a second. If you're broke and you're living check to check, and then you go spend your money on them, here's what's really happening. When you give them your money, you're throwing your money away. You're making someone else rich while you're making yourself poor. And then you're asking the question, why don't I have any money? Right? All these years go by and you get into your 30s or 40s or whatever, and you wake up one day and you say, where did it all go? I can't tell you how many people I've known that have started businesses, made really good money, and spent every dollar that they had only to end up out of business because they didn't understand that money wasn't really theirs in the first place. And that's something we could talk about at a later time. But for now, I need you guys to understand how important it is to not be a squanderer. If you're trying to get your life together, if you're trying to get your act together and make some kind of difference for your life, then you have to stop squandering. When you get something, money, opportunities, time, you have to take them, and you have to do the right thing with them. Time's another big one. We squander time probably more than, I would bet time is probably the most squandered thing out there. How many times have you sat there with your buddies or your friends or whatever and had these lengthy conversations about what you could be doing, what you should be doing, and this and that? And that. Well, if I had this, then I would be able to, do this, that, and the other thing, right? How many conversations have you ever heard like that or been a part of like that? And then what do? Nothing. You don't do anything. That's squandered time. Now, if you were sitting there having that conversation, you said, you know what, if I had this thing, I could start if I had, $2,000, I could start a window cleaning business or a cleaning business, right? I'd go out and buy all them stuff and, I'd go out and do it. But then in the meantime, you just literally sit there saying, if. Why is there an if? What's the if about? Remember, look through the scope, right? I need $2,000 to start this thing. So you get $100. And what do? You say, well, $100 isn't going to start it for me. So what do? You spend the $100. You say, well, I don't have the $2,000 that I need, but I do have $100. So I think I'll go out and do some partying, or I'll go out and, whatever it is that you do, right? Hit the club, buy some weed. I don't know. Maybe you spend it on clothes or video games or whatever it may be. But the bottom line is this. If you get $100 and you need $2,000, what did you do to get the extra $100? Well, you only need to do that times, unfortunately, 20, right, to get that. And let's just say it takes you a year to get $2,000. Well, now you've opened up a door to walk through that will take you to a new place. But guess what? If you get that $100 one time and you spend it, well, I have news for you. You're not walking through any other doors. You're going to stay right where you are. You'll never move. So, squandering would be spending that money on enjoyment instead of saving that money until you can open that other door. And maybe you're not the ambitious type. Maybe you're not looking to have your own little business, and that's fine. I don't think, I personally, most people shouldn't own their own business. But let's say it's to get an apartment, and let's say you need, $2,000-$3,000 or whatever it is to move in. You need your first and last month's rent. So let's be honest, it's probably even more than $2,000. And if you're living for free or you're living for cheap or whatever your situation is, go get a second job if you have to. Stack that money until you have enough to do what you need to do. Because in the meantime, if you just keep telling yourself, I don't have enough money to do it anyways, the reason why you don't have enough money to do it anyways is because you keep spending it. It is because of you and your habits. So the best thing that you can do, laser focus on that goal and put everything you have towards it. If you have the time to sit and talk about your plan for the future and what you should be doing, you've got the time to be making the money you need to do it. So it's a double whammy. You're squandering your money and you're squandering your time. And if someone says, hey, would you like to do some work and I'll pay you? That's an opportunity. If you hear that frequently and you don't do it, you're squandering an opportunity. So remember, let's end this with the definition of squander. To waste something valuable, such as money, time, or opportunities, in a reckless, foolish, or thoughtless manner. There it is, guys. So, don't be a squanderer. And remember this, guys. Life is tough. Fight back.